In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 NBA games happening on November 16, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Los Angeles Lakers versus New Orleans Pelicans. The Los Angeles Lakers are set to visit the Smoothie King Center on Saturday night for an early season matchup against the New Orleans Pelicans. The Lakers currently hold a 7-4 record, placing them 6th in the Western Conference standings. They are riding high on a 3-game winning streak, with their most recent victory being a thrilling 128-123 triumph over the Memphis Grizzlies on Wednesday night. On the other hand, the Pelicans are struggling, sitting at the bottom of the Western Conference with a 3-9 record. Despite a rare 106-88 road win against the Oklahoma City Thunder on Wednesday, New Orleans finds itself in the midst of a 6-game losing streak. This contest marks the first of 3 scheduled meetings between these teams this season, with both squads coming into this game on the second night of a back-to-back set. Both teams are dealing with injuries, which will impact their lineups. For the Lakers, Christian Wood and Rui Hachimura remain sidelined. The Pelicans are facing even greater challenges with significant absences, including DeJounte Murray, Zion Williamson, Jose Alvarado, and CJ McCollum, among others. The recent offensive output of these 2 teams reflects their contrasting trajectories. Over their last 3 games, the Lakers have averaged an impressive 122 points per game, whereas the Pelicans have only managed 101 points across their last 5 contests. This disparity is also evident in their net ratings for the season. The Lakers rank 16th with a slightly negative net rating of -0.1, while the Pelicans are near the bottom of the league at 28th with a troubling -10.6 net rating. While the allure of betting on an underdog at home can be tempting, the Pelicans' current state makes them a risky proposition. Playing the second game of a back-to-back is challenging enough, but their depleted roster amplifies the difficulty. The Pelicans also face a potential letdown scenario after a morale-boosting win over the Denver Nuggets the night before. Missing key players such as Alvarado, Williamson, McCollum, Jones, and Murray leaves them severely short-handed. Conversely, the Lakers, with their stars healthy and momentum on their side, are in a prime position to capitalize on the Pelicans' struggles. If Los Angeles is serious about contending for a high seed in the Western Conference, games like these are must-win situations. Given the circumstances, the Los Angeles Lakers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full-game side pick. Although the Lakers are enjoying success, their aging stars need to manage their workload to stay healthy for the playoffs. Meanwhile, the Pelicans have been offensively anemic, averaging just 101 points per game over their last 5 outings. Excluding their unusual 122-point performance against Cleveland, their scoring average drops further to 95 points per game. While the Lakers rank 11th in pace, they are only 18th in offensive possession length, which indicates a measured approach to their offense. Similarly, the Pelicans rank 28th in overall pace and have middling rankings in offensive and defensive possession lengths at 22nd and 21st, respectively. These factors suggest a slower-paced game. Given the injuries impacting both rosters and the fatigue from playing on consecutive nights, this matchup is likely to feature a more sluggish tempo. Neither team emphasizes a fast-paced style of play, as evidenced by the Lakers ranking 12th in the NBA with a 100.14 pace, and the Pelicans sitting near the bottom at 28th with a 97.46 pace. With both teams unlikely to push the pace aggressively, the game is expected to be a lower-scoring affair. Therefore, under the projected total is our full-game total pick. San Antonio Spurs versus Dallas Mavericks. It's a clash of Southwest Division rivals as 2 teams from Texas go head-to-head on the hardwood in Dallas. The San Antonio Spurs hit the road to face the Dallas Mavericks on Saturday night. San Antonio played at home against the Los Angeles Lakers on Friday in an NBA Cup group stage matchup. Earlier in the week, the Spurs secured a 139-130 home win over the Washington Wizards on Wednesday, though they failed to cover the spread as 9.5-point favorites. Meanwhile, Dallas is coming off a narrow 115-113 113 road loss to the Utah Jazz on Thursday, a game in which they were 8-point favorites but fell short outright. Historically, the Spurs hold a 115-85 lead in the all-time regular season series, but the Mavericks have won the last 5 meetings, including a 120-109 home victory in their first encounter of the season on October 24th. San Antonio remains short-handed, with Tre Jones and Jeremy Sochan sidelined, while Dallas continues to miss P.J. Washington and is monitoring Luka Doncic, who is listed as questionable due to knee soreness. The Spurs have begun to find some rhythm recently but will face the challenge of playing on the second night of a back-to-back. This schedule dynamic contributes to the Mavericks being heavy favorites. Victor Wembanyama shined in Wednesday's game against Washington, drilling 8 three-pointers and finishing with a career-high 50 points, marking the first time he reached that milestone. After a slow start to his rookie campaign, Wembanyama has been putting up spectacular performances. While Dallas has multiple defensive options to counter him, the Spurs are expected to keep the game competitive and cover the spread. Despite Dallas' solid shooting defense and the presence of Doncic and Klay Thompson, Wembanyama seems poised for another standout performance, though the Spurs may ultimately fall short due to fatigue. The Mavericks are expected to be strong favorites at home against a struggling opponent, but betting confidently on Dallas remains challenging. The Mavs are just 2-5 to 1 against the spread in their last 8 games and have dropped 4 straight contests, including a surprising loss to Utah as 8-point favorites. The Spurs, while on the second leg of a back-to-back, have been competitive recently and show signs of improvement offensively. Given Dallas' inconsistency this season, the San Antonio Spurs to cover the spread as underdogs is our full-game side pick. San Antonio entered Friday night's matchup having gone under the total in 6 of their 12 games this season. The Spurs ranked 21st in the league in turnovers, committing an average of 16.3 per game. They also ranked 21st in tempo, averaging 98 possessions per contest. On the other hand, Dallas had stayed under the total in 7 of their 12 games heading into Friday. The Mavericks are among the league's best in ball control, ranking 3rd with just 12.7 turnovers per game, and are 20th in tempo at 98.3 possessions per game. Historically, 8 of the last 10 meetings between these teams have gone over the projected total, including their first meeting this season, which saw the teams combine for 229 points against a line of 227. The Spurs, playing the second night of a back-to-back, and the Mavericks are both middle of the pack in terms of pace heading into this Western Conference showdown. Luka Doncic is attempting nearly 10 three-pointers per game, the 5th most in the NBA, while Klay Thompson isn't far behind, averaging over 8 attempts from beyond the arc per game. With both teams likely to rely heavily on long-range shooting, a high-scoring game is anticipated. Consequently, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Utah Jazz vs. Sacramento Kings. On Saturday evening, the Utah Jazz will travel to the Golden One Center to face off against the Sacramento Kings in a highly anticipated road game. The Jazz are coming off a victory against the Dallas Mavericks, while the Kings will be playing their second game in as many nights after a Friday matchup. This scheduling dynamic places the Kings on the second leg of a back-to-back, potentially affecting their performance. The Jazz are dealing with notable absences as Walker Kessler remains sidelined and Lauri Markkanen's status is questionable for this matchup. On the Kings side, they will be without Malik Monk and DeMar DeRozan, both of whom have been ruled out. In the previous game, Kevin Huerter delivered a standout performance, stepping up admirably after DeRozan was forced to exit. Huerter scored a season-high 22 points, a marked improvement from his recent inconsistency. While his offensive contributions have been sporadic, he retains the potential for impactful performances, particularly when DeRozan's absence allows him more offensive opportunities. Against a Jazz team that has struggled defensively, allowing opponents to shoot 37.2% from three-point range, the 6th worst mark in the NBA, Huerter is well positioned for another strong showing. Moreover, Utah's defensive issues are highlighted by their opponents shooting 48.6% from the field over the last 3 games. The Jazz have a rest advantage in this contest, as they did not play on Friday. However, Markkanen's uncertain availability casts doubt on their ability to capitalize. Utah's young roster is brimming with potential, but they have yet to achieve the consistency needed to contend reliably. Meanwhile, the Kings may face fatigue after their Friday game, though they benefit from not having to travel between matchups. Sacramento's recent dominance over Utah is worth noting, with the Kings winning the last 5 meetings between the two teams. Even with fatigue potentially in play, Utah's inconsistency, which was evident in Thursday's performance, makes it challenging to trust them in this matchup. While the Kings are on the second night of a back-to-back, the Jazz's struggles both straight up and against the spread make them a less compelling option. Sacramento has an impressive track record against Utah, going 7-1 straight up and 5-3 against the spread in their last 8 meetings. Just a few weeks ago, the Kings secured a decisive 17-point victory over the Jazz. With Utah's inefficiencies on both ends of the floor, the Sacramento Kings to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Looking at the total points for this game, Utah has seen the under hit in 7 of their first 11 games this season, reflecting their ongoing struggles with turnovers. The Jazz currently rank last in the league in this category, averaging a staggering 18.8 turnovers per game. Despite their issues, Utah plays at a relatively fast pace, ranking 10th in the league with an average of 100 possessions per game. Conversely, the Kings entered Friday with a balanced record regarding the over-under at 6-6 through their first 12 games. They excel at limiting turnovers, ranking 10th in the league at 13.7 per game, and their tempo is slightly below Utah's at 99.3 possessions per contest. When these teams met earlier in the season, they combined for only 209 points. While a higher scoring affair is possible this time around, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.